Back pain, unfortunately, is a chronic problem in many people. And just little things, little unique things, a unique problem for everybody. But there are 4 things I'm going to offer you up right now which can help all cases. Just make them your own. Maybe it's new stuff you haven't tried before in preventing your back pain or just dealing when it does crop up. So first of all, just an active child's pose. All fours, shoulder over wrist, hip over your knees. Bring your feet together, knees a little bit wider than your hips, so it's kind of a setup just more like that. And just easy rocking back and forth. Just a good way to get started here on these 4 things we're going to do. You can also get some cat therapy, feline therapy also helps. Back and forth, just real easy. We're not going any for a certain distance. It should not bother your knees at all. If it does, you can make the appropriate adjustments in that putting a pad under your knee or just not going back as far into knee flexion here. Your back stays pretty flat. You're not trying to go out too far forward or too far back. You could also work it side to side a little bit of a lateral movement. You should have a pretty good stable base for this movement. That's just a good way to get warmed up. Maybe spend 30, 60 seconds doing that. Next thing, from that same setup, and of course, I probably don't have to tell you, but if it bothers your wrist, make a fist so you have a nice straight wrist. You can use that setup if it does bother your wrist. Next, it's just a hold. Again, 30 to 60 seconds, static extension, and all that is looking down, let your ribs drop, let your hips rise, let that mid back, lower back drop, your head drops, really feel the extension, the stretch in your neck, and that's it. So your shoulder blades are kind of coming together here. You can bend the elbows a little bit. And again, this is to your own degree, so if you have a lot of extension in your low back, you may want to stop it so you're not going down as much as focusing on maybe the shoulder blades coming together. That's number 2, 30 to 60 seconds. Next, you'll need a chair, an ottoman, something. This is not ideal, but it's something portable just to show you don't need the perfect setup for static extensions. Lying on your back, feet up, knees right over your hips. Now that's static back. I've showed you this in other videos before. That's it, and you can literally stay here with a cat sitting on your ribs. Feel the low back touching the floor, hands by your side. That's it, tuck your chin. If you need, you can put a little towel or small, thin pillow just under your neck to provide support if you have trouble, getting your neck in a straight line, if it's really extended back. This is something you can hold for 5 minutes. That's another one. And I know I've showed it to you before, but it's a great reminder. Last little thing, staying on your back, you can move your chair, ottoman, whatever you have to support your leg for static back to the side. It's a bridge variation. Feet maybe a little bit beyond the knees, so you don't want it way back here, you don't want it way out here, kind of right about there. You're not lifting up for height here. You put your hands on your pelvis to get the feel for this, but tilt the pelvis back, push into the heels just a little bit. You're not going for height. Just tilt the pelvis back. That might be enough. You're just going to hold that. Like I said, if you have great animals, sometimes they're going to get all over you. That's fine. You might like that. It's kind of a bonus to all this. But tilt up, hold, pushing into your heels. If you need to, for a little more focus, you can lift your toes up. And if you want to just feel back there, you'll feel that good stability in your low back, but you're not pushing up too much. You're not going for height. You can feel the glutes engage, hamstrings will engage a little bit too. Now, if that's a little too much for you, you can put your hands on your pelvis, tilt pelvis forward and backward. You'll feel the engagement of the core here, forward and backward. And again, this is something you can work on holding for 30 to 60 seconds. Now, those were 4 moves you probably haven't tried before, you probably don't think about doing. to prevent and deal with some low back pain.